Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday night impromptu stream. We technically were supposed to be off this week. I guess we are off this week. But I just wanted to do a little stream. I know a lot of you look forward to these. And I don't know how many of you saw I was on TV this morning. We were called by Channel 4. They wanted us to do a little something this morning on their morning show, and I guess while I was talking live, I said that we would be streaming tonight. So here I am streaming tonight, but it's fine. I really wanted to do a little something, and it's something as we move to in the future to do maybe not stream every week. Definitely, we can have short streams like this. In the off weeks, basically, just bring you a few different things. Tonight's stream is probably going to be about 30 minutes or so. I'm going to be doing some works by J.S. Bach. The works by Bach will not be played on the original instruments that they were written for, which is actually quite common for his works. They've been transcribed for many instruments, and we featured some of them, I think, a couple weeks ago on bass and other instruments. So yeah. So, and then also at the end we'll have a work by our composer in residence, Caroline Maloney, great piece that we played at the Albright Knox quite a few years ago. So great. So let's get started. Let me see. What's first? Okay, let me just. There we go. Okay, so first on the program, I'm going to be playing from the Bach cello suites. I'm going to do 3 selections on viola from the 5th suite in C minor, from the G major, which is the second one, I believe. No, G major is the first one. And the C major, which is the third one. I'll call them out as I do them, but I just wanted to let you share a little history about the works. Bach wrote them. Sorry, my cat is down here. Matthew, I think Matthew wants to be fed. Oh well, that's what it is. He wrote the works, I think, in the late 17 teens, so 1717 to 1721. And they're actually, to this day, there's no surviving score or manuscript in Bach's handwriting or in Bach's hand. Only one of the few surviving copies, the main one that we turned to, was written down by his wife, Anna Magdalena Bach. She was sort of his personal copyist, or one of many copyists that he probably used. And here I have a picture of the title of the. This is the title page. Suites a violoncello solo senza basso, composé per Bach, J.S. Bach, and at the end it just says that he was a Kapellmeister, the chapel or choir master of sorts at the church. So the. They're for cello solo and senza basso, so it's without bass, and what he means by that is that there's no basso continuo or accompaniment, so they're really just what you hear, it's all you get. Let me just switch out of that. So these works, he wrote them, and I think all of them are there's 6 of them. The first 4 are for regular cello. The fifth is for cello with the A string tuned down to a G. If you tuned in last week, I think you heard me playing some modern pieces by Caroline Maloney with different tuning. So this is a scordatura, is the word, the Italian fancy word, that's been done for many centuries. So it's and then the 6th suite was written for a 5-string cello or 5-string instrument, cello-like instrument. So on the viola, the 6th suite is not done very often because it doesn't lie very well on the instrument. Even on cello, it's quite challenging with just 4 strings. So, but let me just get started. So I'm going to be playing. Okay. This is a Sarabande from the C minor, the fifth cello suite. I use modern tuning. I don't tune down my A string. And the Sarabande, you know, what's great about all these suites, they sort of have a, even for the time, they have a bit of a international or European flair. The Sarabande, it's a dance in triple meter, slow triple meter, that is thought to have originated or come from either Guatemala or Mexico, brought in the late 1500s to Spain and just became the rage through Europe. Later on, I'll be playing bourrée, which is French, a French dance, and I'll end with a gigue, which is from the English jig. So it's sort of great how a suite has movements, dance movements borrowed from all these different nationalities. So here it goes. Again, if you're tuning just now, we have a short stream today, just doing a few live things, some pre-recorded, and but yeah, we'll have fun. So this is the Sarabande from the C minor suite. I'm hearing this here. Is the audio coming through okay over there? I'm just curious. I'm not listening, so I'm just wondering how the audio is coming through. Somebody can type, give me a thumbs up or thumbs down. That would be great. But at any rate, so that was the Sarabande from the C minor suite. I've never played it live. A lot of these pieces I've actually never performed live. They're actually quite personal, I guess you would say. And actually, though he wrote them in the 1720s, the pieces were mostly unknown until early in the 20th century. It was Pablo Casals, the famous Spanish cellist, that found them at a thrift store, basically, and started programming them. And it wasn't until the 1950s that he actually sat down and recorded them, because most people, even after they knew about them, they really considered them etudes or studies, not pieces that you played on a stage in front of people. So, but they're beautiful. So now we're gonna skip to the third suite. Normally, a Sarabande would be followed by a bourrée or a gavotte. In this case, it's going to be a bourrée from the third cello suite in C major. I just have to find it in my music. Here it is, which is the third suite is in C major, and it's so bourrées are split into part 1 and part 2. So you play part 1, then you play part 2, which is usually in a contrasting key. In this case, C major. Then it goes to C minor, and then traditionally after you play the second part, you go back to the part 1, and so it's A B A format. Good. So here's the bourrée number 1 and 2 from the C major cello suite. Oh, and by the way, if Kate Holzmer is watching, she always makes fun of me for taking repeats. I'm only taking the first repeats, not the seconds. So we compromise. We met in the middle. Thanks. Thank you. I need to unplug something here because I'm hearing an echo and it's driving me nuts. There. Whew. Excellent. Thank you. So that was the bourrée from the third cello suite in C major. And I hope you caught how it went from major then to the minor, just a contrasting character, and then went back. For those following along with your scores or may know the piece, in the second bourrée, there's a discrepancy in the score that a note could be an A natural or an A flat. That's why I took the repeat. One time I played an A flat. The first time I played, I think the A natural, and then I played an A flat. So if it really one way or the other bothers you a lot, you can edit it in post and have your own version. So now we're going to jump back to the first suite, the G major. That one actually has a very famous first that is a famous prelude. I'm not going to play it because it's too famous. So instead I'm going to end with a jig from it. The jig, as I said earlier, is a fast dance of English origin, from the English jig. It's in 3/8, in a triple ta 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 ta, 1 2 3 1 2 3. In this case, it's in 6/8, so it's 1 2 3 2 2 3. There are two big beats within the measure, but no big deal. It's in 3. And yeah, funny story. I played this morning on TV on Channel 4, and the host, they're very nice. They were great, but I think they have a timeline to keep up to. I told them it would be about 42 seconds without any repeats, and they cut me off in about 3 measures from the end. So hey, what can you do? It's showbiz. But I'll play the whole thing for you, and I will take the first repeat. Thank you. And so even though they were from different suites, I gave you a little taste of this would be the second half of a full suite. So you had the Sarabande, followed by the bourrées, and closing with the jig. So that's the traditional dance, second half of a dance suite. Even though Bach wrote many suites, they weren't meant to be. These specific ones were not meant to be. They weren't written to be danced to, but they were fashioned after dance movements or dances. Let me move my music stand out of here so I can do the rest of the show, because I'm done playing for tonight. Let's see. Next, this is going to be a treat. This is a video by a good friend of mine, James Howard Young. James and I went to school at Peabody Conservatory in Baltimore, Maryland, and he was a clarinet major at the time, but I knew he did other things. He's what you call a multi-instrumentalist. Can play. Right now, he's been playing a lot of recorder, and he's as comfortable in early music as he is in contemporary. He also plays the wind controller, which is it's like a clarinet. It's like an electric clarinet or an electric not clarinet, electric wind instrument, and it can sound like much like an electric guitar can sound like any instrument, any sound that you put through it in effects. It's the same thing with a wind controller. James right now lives in Denmark, and we're friends on Facebook, and I saw that he posted a video. I'll share links with you in a bit, but James does a lot of multi-tracking videos of works. He actually recently did all of the first movement of Mozart's, I think, Symphony Number 40. I should check that, but I think it was Symphony Number 40, the whole first movement, and he recorded all the parts on recorder, which is pretty amazing, and then put it all together. So in a way, a lot of the multi-tracking videos that I've done on this, and James is the inspiration and probably the gold standard that I aim for. So I asked him if I could share something that he posted today, and he said, of course. So let's see. This is the third movement from the Brandenburg Concerto Number 6 by Bach, and it's originally written for 2 violas, 2 viola da gambas, which are kind of like cellos, but they have frets. Then for 1 cello, then bass and harpsichord. We've played it before. I think ages ago we played it at Buff Sem when we used to be there, and we've played it at Kleinhans as well. All the Brandenburg concertos, which I should have said that last time when we did a few weeks ago, the Brandenburg Concerto number 3. The Brandenburg Concerti, Bach sort of recycled a lot of works that he had written before, or repackaged, let's say, repackaged them as a present. He presented them to Christopher, I'll have to look this up, Christian Ludwig, who was the Margrave of Brandenburg. That's where it gets the name, the Brandenburg Concerti. He was hoping to get a job there, and it didn't work out. He didn't get the job. And the sad thing is that actually the score, the gift was left in storage. It was never performed in Bach's lifetime. I think they were written, the one we're playing today, the video, Brandenburg Number 6, was written in about 1721, and it wasn't, the pieces were not discovered until 1849, published a year later. What's amazing, after the Margrave died, his estate was sort of auctioned off, and somebody, we don't know who, bought but it's on records that the score was purchased for the equivalent of $24 US modern time. So that's quite a deal, that somebody got 6 Bach concerti for 24 bucks. So without further ado, please enjoy. This is the third movement of the Brandenburg Concerto number 6. The third movement is Allegro, and this is played by James Young on bass recorder. He recorded 6 parts, bass recorder. Enjoy. that's pretty amazing. James is he's great. He's great, and honestly, I hope he's not watching, or maybe he will. But I think he's a musical genius. Like the things that he does. I just wanted to pull up some of his. Let's see, where is this about James? Okay, I please go if you like what you saw. Go to his on his YouTube channel, James Howard Young on YouTube. He's got tons of multi-tracking videos that I hope you go and check out, because it's amazing. A lot of them are early music and Baroque, but he has a little bit of everything. He's also on Facebook, James Howard Young Multivids. So take a screenshot of this, or you can watch it later. I'll put the links online later, but he has a lot of the videos on Facebook, and he's always there, so you can chat with him as well. Do go and tell him that you saw his video and loved it. And then jnote.com is his personal website. And what's great, if you're an instrumentalist out there, go to his website. He has some cool software that he's developed. Let me switch out of this. But yeah, some of the software on his website, jnote.com, some of it, he has a metronome, tuner, things like that. But one really cool one that he just put out this spring is the Telemonator. So Telemonator, like Terminator, Telemonator. If you ever heard, Telemann has a lot of canonic sonatas that you start. It's one part. You start playing, and then on a certain measure, second measure, there's a little symbol that tells you the second part starts at the beginning when the first part gets to there. And usually you play that with two people, and we've tried that even multi-tracking, like by ourselves or with other people. But what's amazing, James wrote a software that you enter the pulse and how many beats basically to wait before doing the canon, and in real time you can record yourself playing, and it puts a second video of yourself by whatever many beats off. Like you basically do the Telemann canon by yourself. With yourself. No, by yourself, with yourself. It's like my mind just blown. So go over there, and he's great, like very accessible, and you can make suggestions or comments about it, and he really takes them to heart and does what he can for it. So check out James's website. He's amazing. And James, thanks for letting us stream your Brandenburg Number 6. Now we're going to move to something completely different. No, it's not completely different, but this is a piece by our composer in residence, Caroline Maloney. Carrie, the piece is called Throwing Mountains, and it's for, I hope I remember, it's for piano, cello, bass, and bass clarinet. So a lot of bass instruments. The piece, I spoke with her a little bit ago, asking, what's behind the title, and she says, well, it's not essential for the piece to understand it. Throwing mountains, it's a little bit a reference of throwing clay on you throw pottery, and then the mountains part, the piece starts at the low end of all the instruments, and over time, by the end, it's at the upper register of these bass instruments, so you get the idea of mountains. She's there. Oh, thank you, Caroline. Thank you, Carrie, for putting the links on the. I see that. I'll put those during your piece as well. And Carrie's on Facebook, so in the chat, so she can also, if I miss anything about her piece. But I think there's an additive and subtractive quality to the structure of the piece, where notes are taken out or added throughout the piece of the motives. But it's a great piece, and the video you're going to see is one that we put together a while back. It's from a live concert at the AK a long time ago, probably at least 4 years ago, probably our first year at the AK. And we've used it for grant applications, so that's why you'll see our website and name at the beginning and at the end. But clearly it's very effective because we got those grants, and so that's pretty cool. So yeah, throwing mountains. I think it's about 10 minutes, maybe a little less. And it's great. And you'll hear sounds coming from the piano that sound rattling or like noise. There's nothing wrong with the piano. It's a little bit prepared. There's paper over the strings and also thumbtacks, no, thumb cymbals.
Oh, finger cymbals.
Finger cymbals. Thank you. That's what they are. They're in there, and they're supposed to create these sounds that sound pretty cool. So enjoy. Caroline Mallon is Throwing Mountains. Okay, I made a mistake. I combined two slides that I had, so I'll fix that now. We'll start over. Do over. Thank you. Here we go. Bravo, Carrie. Bravo. I love that piece. It's so good. I mean, honestly, the only thing that it's missing is a viola part, but you know, not everything can have viola. So I hope you heard the finger cymbals and the paper in there. It's so cool sound that it's not superfluous at all. It's just it's really needed and it works really well. It's a great piece, and I always love hearing it. So yeah, I think that's it for our stream tonight. Mostly, just really quickly, some thank yous, some donations that came in since last week. Thank you, John. Thank you, Philip, Pat and Shelley, Kathleen, and Aunt Suzanne. Thank you for your donations. It really helps make these concerts happen. We have a great program planned for next week. That's going to be a full virtual concert. We're not just me playing viola over here, filling time and talking. Where is that? I thought I had a preview. You know, I didn't set up the slide. We've been already recording some pieces by then. There's going to be percussion, definitely woodwinds, some brass again, and definitely some string works. So make sure you tune in, invite your friends, and yeah. So Thank you for tuning in for this short, I guess it's not that short. I talk too much, but short in music, I guess. So yeah, hope everybody's doing well. It's gorgeous out there. We'll be sending out via email, and we'll post it on Facebook, a link as well, a survey about these streams, because we're just trying to see. I mean, Thursday nights may work, but very soon, even now, it's gorgeous out there. So some people may want to be on their porch instead of inside watching the stream. So we could move them to later on, or we could another day, or at any rate, there are going to be questions about the stream, the virtual concerts, and we really would love to hear from you what you think, because in the end, we're doing this for you. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next week, next Thursday, probably at 7. We won't change next week. It'll be at 7, but from then on, we'll figure it out. And stay safe and healthy, and as usual, our credits make whoopee.